Story today is President Trump's speech. He told Iran if they don't do what he wants them to do, he's going to bomb them back into the Stone Age. And of course, liberals are always wrong. Even before Trump came down the escalator, all right, the liberals were always wrong. They wanted to keep blacks in slavery. The Democrats experimented on African Americans at the Tuskegee experiments. Democrats put Americans of Japanese descent into internment concentration camps. The list goes on. I mean, there's no, the Democrats have never not been on the wrong side of the issues. They were opposed to women getting the right to vote. The Democrats were opposed to ending segregation. So I mean, the Democrats are always wrong. So who cares what they think, right? But you look at what's going on here with Iran. He is. I thought it was so brilliant what President Trump said that he's not going to he's not going to take over and secure the Strait of Hormuz. And that is so amazing what he said, because what he's talking about there is, and what he said right after that was, buy your oil from the United States. If you're dependent on oil to coming through the Strait of Hormuz, forget about that. Buy your oil from the United States. We have the largest oil reserves in the world, and the second's Venezuela. So, why are you buying your oil from this area? And exactly, that was a total boss move. And that's what presidents are supposed to do, right? They're supposed to be looking out for the United States and American interest, and promoting commerce for the United States, not other countries. Who cares about the Strait of Hormuz? The Strait of Hormuz, who cares, right? These uncivilized terrorist nations like Iran, the only reason they have any juice, any power, any influence is because people are obsessed with buying oil from these people. Buy it from the United States. What's wrong with that? Exactly. That's pretty smooth, wasn't it? President Trump does not think like the other presidents. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where Mega comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. All right, guys. And my next stream, I'll be in the studio taking your calls. Welcome, everyone. Hello to you. I thought that was hilarious when he said that. We're not going to. No, we're not going to secure the Strait of Hormuz. If you want to, you do it. If you depend on oil from there, buy it from the United States. What more perfect statement could be said? But that's how liberals are. Anything that's good for the United States, they're against, because that's just how they are. They're against goodness. When it comes to this country, right? They're always advocating for others. They've got this rocket scientist moron Katanji on the Supreme. Did any of you catch this bizarre comment that Katanji on the Supreme Court made about shoplifting in Japan makes you a citizen of Japan? What bizarreness is that about? Katanji, she makes a good case for the right side on this birthright citizenship, because even these wackadoodle liberal justices don't want to be on the side of that idiot. I mean, she's dumber than her. But, the president's speech last night was spectacular, but his speech earlier in the day at the prayer breakfast was just, speaking to the Christians, was, oh my goodness, it was the best. I'm going to play some clips from both today on the program, but that speech he gave earlier in the day yesterday, it was hilarious. And he very specifically went after Candace Owens and others attacking Erica Kirk, which was nice to see him stand up for her. I mean, these people that go after Erica Kirk are just low-life scumbuckets. Everything Erica Kirk has gone through and her family are continuing to go through. And he was very specifically, President Trump, talking about Candace Owens. He was talking about jealousy. Yep. She is a very bitter, jealous woman, Candace Owens. It's really sad, right? She's famous. She's rich, she's good looking, and she's just so unhappy, right? You can have everything going for you and still be miserable. Everything going on in the news has the liberals upset because it's good for the United States. Look, we have a rocket ship on the way to the moon right now. It's amazing. How exciting is that? They're going to be at the moon in a couple of days. I love it. I love it. It's all going well. First time back to the moon in 54 years. All of this makes liberals miserable. The only thing that makes liberals feel alive is this bizarro story with Kristi Noem's husband, because they can relate to that guy. He's one of them, or at least what they would like to be. A bizarro man walking around with huge boobs that are fake. It's just bizarre. That gets them excited because that the Democrats are like, that's a guy I can relate to. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But the speech last night was great. The speech earlier the day was great. We've won the war with Iran. He told everyone to buy oil from the United States, not from anyone that has to bring their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. We're sending astronauts to the moon right now as I'm sitting here in my car talking to you. It's a great world for America. It doesn't get better than this. And we've got the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, right? What president could be greater than Donald Trump? Hmm. I know people say George Washington, people say Abraham. When Abraham Lincoln became president, the Democrats led an insurrection against the government, the Civil War. When George Washington was president, he actually took the title of commander in chief literally, and um, led troops against American citizens who didn't want to pay taxes. The Whiskey Rebellion, the tax on whiskey. That doesn't sound nice. Ronald Reagan. What did Ronald Reagan do that was equal to or greater than Donald Trump? Really? Now it's so funny how all the liberals all of a sudden love Ronald Reagan, right? When he was president, they hated him like Trump. Now all of a sudden, Ronald Reagan was the greatest. They don't even have a reason why. They just regurgitate Ronald Reagan. What did uh, Bill there? He's Googling to try to find something Ronald Reagan did because he doesn't know anything he did. So he's going to Google, take a quick look at Wikipedia, and then post something in the chat like he knows something. Hmm. Well, to pay taxes, you have to have a job. Okay. That's right. I just paid my taxes last week. Boy, I filled up my car yesterday for the first time, really. I mean, completely filled it up in a few weeks because I don't drive this car that much, and I was away on our MAGA cruise. Yeah, gas is a little expensive right now, but that's a fine price to pay to rid the world of Islamic terrorism from Iran, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Ugh, ugh. I need my coffee, but no, everything's going well, and I was very impressed with the president. Okay, no problem. I don't want you to have to watch me. Let me help you. There you go. There you go. I don't want to I don't want Bill to have to participate in the show since he says he's not going to participate anymore. I'll help him along with that. Why not? Just what a jerk. Gonna threaten me. You know, if you don't say what I want to say, I'm gonna unsubscribe. Goodbye. See ya. Threatening me. Fox is the number one cable news network. Why are they number one? Because most people agree who watch cable news with their content. right? Exactly. That's exactly why. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If they're number one, in fact, they have more viewers than MS Now and CNN combined. That means the majority of the people agree with the Fox News messaging, which means you are in a cult. A guy with a screen name like that thinks I need help? Exactly. Fox News is number one by far. CNN, MS Now, way back, and the ratings way behind. That means most people agree with Fox. That means we're in the majority, and those of you who don't are in a cult, the never Trumper cult. That's what you're in. Hmm. Yes. Good morning, Dustin. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we got a lot to cover today, and I tried to watch the space launch from my house, and it was clear until right before the launch, and then the clouds moved in, and I didn't get to. I watched it on television, but I couldn't see it from my house yesterday. It was very upsetting. One of my neighbors claimed he could see it. I think he was full of it because I was looking. I didn't see Jack. The clouds came in like right before the launch. I was so fuming about it because I went out about an hour before the launch. It was totally clear sky, and I'm like, awesome. I'm going to see the launch with my naked eye. Had to watch it on television and on my phone, like everybody else. But it's pretty cool that we launched uh, astronauts to the moon from my state here, Florida. Pretty cool to live in the state that sends people to the moon, isn't it? Florida is the best state by far. The best state by far. No other state even comes close to Florida. Mm-mm. And of course, this is where the greatest president lives too, Donald Trump. Hmm. So another guy just got convicted yesterday. I'm going to go through this story for threatening Trump. What is it with these liberals? I mean, these constant threats and assassination attempts. My goodness, they say we're the violent ones. There have been more assassination attempts and threats against this president than any other president we've had. That's how liberals are. You know, the tolerant left. They're so tolerant they can't tolerate anyone who dares to disagree with them on anything. Hmm. President Trump really called out Ilhan Omar yesterday. Woo! Did he ever? She is not a happy camper, I promise you. Ilhan Omar is not a happy person. But no, the president's doing just totally perfect. Probably more than all previous presidents put together. That would not surprise me. Florida diver down, not at all. What's a shill? Somebody that works for a living, earns a living, as opposed to someone who games all day and lives off of mommy and daddy, like you probably do. I don't know. I guess everyone who works is a shill to you. Yes, Democrats are deluded. I agree, Ryan. Democrats are very deluded. I agree with Ryan there. Ryan Daniel. Yeah. Hmm. Yep. I definitely need coffee though. Oh, this is too late in the morning for me not to have coffee. I've been up for about a little more than 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna lead with, of course, the speech last night and everything, which was just absolutely amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Of course, it was amazing. Well, no, it's bad news for the Democrats because, and the liberals and the never Trumpers, because we've won the war. Sky News Australia is very good. Right? Trump said last night, "Don't worry about the state of Hormuz. Buy oil from the United States. Mission accomplished." That's right. It's not a sovereign country under the Ayatollah. Mm-mm, not a sovereign country. terrorist state. Iran under the Ayatollah is a terrorist state, not a sovereign country. Yeah, NATO is, the cemeteries of Europe are filled with Americans who sacrificed their lives for Europe, and they won't even let our planes take off from their bases. Screw the NATO. It's not a republic. Under the Ayatollah, it's a theocracy. They may call it a republic, but it's a theocracy, a lunatic theocracy terrorist state. Good morning to you. Welcome, everyone. Make sure you subscribe if you are new to my channel. And everyone else, please like the video. It's a nice 71 degrees, but I still have the seat heater on. You'd make a great president. Do you see Don Lemon thinks he could be the president? Don Lemon is an idiot. Cracks me up. Don Lemon thinks he could be the president. He is out of his freaking mind. He was serious about that too. That's how much of a, some people may say narcissist, and there may be tendencies. I just think he's a stupid person. Well, most of the other presidents were a can of paint compared to President Trump. President Trump has done this great global reset, just changing everything in the world. Charlie Kirk was a great man, and you should be ashamed of yourself for even having a name like that. I mean, what kind of sicko are you? Really? I can't even look at that name. Can't even look at that name. What a sicko. Who would say something like that? That's how liberals are. They're twisted, man. Liberals are twisted. If they're not twisted, they'd be, MAGA. I really wish Starbucks was open 24 hours. It would make my life so much better. It really should be. Seems to me they're missing out on a lot of overnight business. I could get up, go to Starbucks, get caffeinated early, get started. The water just poured out on my windshield. That's why that's going. When I got this car, it blew my mind that the windshield wipers would come on their own when there was water, when it would rain or there's water on the windshield. I'm like, what? Blew my mind. Like, I'm living in the future, man. This guy here in my neighborhood is why I don't think I'll ever own another dog. Here it is, 4:45 in the morning, and he's walking his dogs. Now, first of all, he's walking his dogs along the lake in my community, which is about one of the dumbest things you can do at 4:45 in the morning. That's how you get attacked and eaten by gators. That is not a native Floridian. If he was a Florida man, he would not be walking his dog along. The dogs got two of them along the lake at 4:45 in the morning because you can't see. And alligators like to sleep on the banks, and you can't see them. Very, very dumb. Very dumb. Floridians, we know how to, the only people that get eaten by gators are people that are new to the state. Very stupid. And most people that get attacked and eaten by gators are people that are dog walking. Because the dogs go after the gators. The gator grabs the dog, and the owner tries to save the dog from the gator, and then the gator gets the dog and the owner. That's what happens in most every instance. Not all, but most of them. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Boy, this guy in front of me is all over the road. All over the road. Is he texting or is he drunk? Gotta pass him. I didn't see him texting. Say, well, he's still kind of all over the road. I'm gonna let him get ahead. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I would say they're intoxicated. They're swerving a little bit and they're not texting. That's not good. So I always say this time of the morning is a dangerous time to be on the road. It really is. I'd rather be on the road though with a drunk than a text. Or at least the drunk's looking at the road, right? South Jersey, welcome. No, the country hasn't lost common sense. We reelected Donald Trump. That means common sense is alive and well. And Donald Trump's approval rating is through the roof high. He's doing well. I thought that was pretty cool that he went to the Supreme Court yesterday. He got to see Katanji babbling about the the wallet thief of Japan, whatever that was about. If the country had no common sense, Kamala Harris would be president. Could you imagine? What would this country be like if Kamala Harris was president? Whew. Can only imagine. Can only imagine. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to head in and get my coffee, and I'll see you on the next stream. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll be back in less than an hour, and on the next stream, I'll be in the studio taking your calls. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe and like.